I'm going to show you some parts I've prefabricated. So that's for the aft swell deck there. I prefabricated a lot of lifeboats because Britannic was supposed to have 48 lifeboats. Titanic had 16. The only difference is I used a white part in the middle because I don't like that you can see the black part on them. Gantry davits are super important, so I prefabricated those also. Here's one. Actually, in this portion of the ship, the only parts that are different are the structure here that surrounds the cargo hatches. The cargo hatches are higher and they're moved forward. So I think the front one, I think the forward one is enlarged. It's not actually moved. So this is enlarged. There's a structure surrounding them for the third class stairs, I think. And then this cargo hatch is kind of like a small and narrow one. And then there's like a grey top structure here on each side. Now, actually the colours are a little bit open to interpretation because the ship was never actually built like this. But yeah, if we look at the different sources online, and there's 4 main sources I can find really. There's the original plans from Harland and Wolff, but they don't have any colours. There's the Britannic builder's model, which is a very good, interesting thing to look at and very useful for this build, but it doesn't show much colour because the colour is black and white. So yeah, what we're left with really when it comes to colours is our own interpretation, and also we can look at what other people have interpreted, right? So Ocean Liner Designs interpreted this area as all white, whereas Titanic Honour and Glory seem to have interpreted it as a kind of grey top structure with grey winches here. And I actually prefer the look of Ocean Liner Designs' idea, but I think for the look of this model, I want some colour differentiation. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead with the Titanic Honour and Glory method, which is a grey top structure and what's it called here, grey winches. I'm going to try and replicate it like this. So I've got a 4x1 there. I'm going to put some 2x1s on because I'm a little bit short on the 4x1s. I'm going to use these to try and replicate the winches. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but let's see. What we're going to do is going to put a 4x1 here first because these need to be a little bit higher. I'll put that there. Yeah, looks pretty good. I think we'll go with that. So let's put some black. Let's put some grey decking on there, just to finish off that area. Britannic's bridge is a little bit different in 2 main ways. So this is what I've already converted to 1911 Olympic. So we've got to put these bridge wings back out, hanging over the side of the ship again. And also we're going to add something really interesting here. A little compass. This is a spare piece I had lying around from the Titanic build. I got quite a few extra pieces with it. So this little 1x1 button round piece there, and then this little compass, which is supposed to be the clock, I believe, in the grand staircase. Yeah, I'm going to make this so that's on there to represent the compass platform on Britannic, and we've got to put some white barriers, walls around the edges. Bridge back onto the ship. There we go. I've got a feeling this is going to look really good. Wow, look at that. On Britannic there's actually some stairs right there, so I'm going to try and get those in. It's going to be quite difficult. I think I might not be able to do it. Had to re-engineer this part a little bit. I had to take out the, there's originally a 3x1 there, which sat up nice and snugly with the back of the bridge. So I've took that out, I've put in a little 1x1, and then this little construction I made here for the steps. It's not very sturdy, but it should be okay once it's all together. You can see if I put this together, the stairs kind of sit just below the deck, and you can't see through. So I think that's going to work. Okay. Make sure that's in place. Put the bridge in. There we go. Okay, everything's in. That looks pretty good. So with that lovely bridge finished with the little compass on there and the little stairs and this whole cargo area all finished, I'm really happy with that. We're going to move our attention over here to the A and B deck. So I've already taken the B deck windows out. I have them configured for Olympic. We need to change that and make them smaller. So it's going to match the Titanic model quite closely there on the B deck, but the A deck, I don't like it. I don't like the way the Titanic model looks. It's not right because Actually, these windows on A deck and the enclosed part of the promenade should actually be the same as the B deck windows, which they're not on the model, so it makes it look quite different to the real ship. So we're going to fix that issue, and then after that we're going to reconstruct all of the deck. As you can see, I've already taken off all of the lifeboats and some of the davits, because then we've got probably one of the more complex parts of the build, which is where we're going to rearrange the deck, move these lifeboat davits, and we're going to put in the new davits that I've made. Here's a little sneak peek. Yeah, so let's get to that now. I've rearranged the windows. This is as close as I can get it to look as I can with the models and pictures of Britannics that I can find online. I considered doing the windows like one brick wide like that, just like they are in the original Titanic model, but what I found is that they're just a little bit too small and I can't fit a realistic number in here without it looking not very good. So we're going to stick with this form factor of the windows, and we're going to try and replicate that on the A deck also, to give it a nice uniform look as the real ships had. I want the A deck windows to be exactly like the B deck windows, which is like they are on the actual ship. So what we're going to have to do is take these little 1x1s off here and then put something else on there flat like that. Luckily I've got lots of those pieces.
3 days later.
I've been working on the windows off camera. This is what I have decided to settle on. These windows are a little big. That's the problem. I originally wanted to put the A deck windows sideways like this, the same as the B deck, because if you look at pictures of the ship and the plans and everything, they're actually identical windows on the A deck and the B deck. The spacing is different, but they're identical windows. But I couldn't quite make it work because of the height thing. There's some like window piece, one of the Lego big window pieces behind here that sits here to put a little ledge under, which makes it just a perfect size for these. No, I don't have anything like that I can put up here. If I tried to put the windows in sideways the same as B deck, it's just impossible to make them fit. It's pretty much exactly the same problem I had with the C deck windows on the aft part of the model, which I changed in my previous conversion. I think it's a good compromise. The windows are quite big, I can't get the right amount of windows in, but similarly to the aft part, I think when the ship is completed it will give the right impression while not being strictly correct. With the scaling of Lego, the size of the pieces, there's only so much we can do, right? If I make the windows two of those little clear pieces tall, it matches the look of the original Titanic model quite well, because that had a space just that big there. I don't like the look. It looks a little bit off to me. The windows are rectangular, not square, so yeah, we're going to go with this. Now it's time to gantry this deck. So I've put these little things here to mark where I'm going to put the gantry davits, because I needed that to help me align the windows and stuff with all these, there's like some blank spaces and stuff like that. The window spacing on both decks is irregular. And actually one particular peculiarity that I encountered is that the builder's model of the ship and the actual completed model, sorry, the completed ship, they don't actually match. The window spacing on A deck is different on the real ship, when it was a hospital ship, than in the builder's model. So I don't know if that's just something that changed during the construction or what. I'm guessing it's something that changed in the construction and wasn't reflected in the builder's model. But yeah, for the parts where we don't have any evidence of what it was like because it was a hospital ship, I'm going to use the builder's model for my inspiration. I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally got one of these brick pullers. Yeah, up until now I've just been using whatever I can find to pull pieces apart or whatever. Now we're going to do the windows for the starboard side, because I've already done the port side when I was experimenting. I want to be able to sit one of the lifeboats here, because on all of the pictures and whatever, all of my reference material, there's one normal lifeboat here underneath the gantry davits with normal welling davits. Here's my first idea. Not sure if this is going to work or not. There's only one way to find out. Take off that on the floor. There we go. Oh, I think that's quite good actually. Oh, that's turned out even better than I thought. Yeah, I think that's about right. I need to put those there like that. Get another one of those things. Yeah, I'll just about do it. Top of the davit's a little bit higher than I would like, but it's not the end of the world. I would like it to be lower. Let's try a lower configuration, see how that works. I put them lower on the little plate thing, and it doesn't sit quite right, but I think it'll work, because nothing else is going to go on there. It doesn't need to be perfectly aligned or anything. So that puts the davit a little bit lower on the ship, a little bit lower against the funnel, which is what we want. They should actually, when they're fully extended, they should be about the same height as the part where the funnel changes colour, and you see that's a little bit higher. I can live with it. I think that's probably our best bet now. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's rebuild some deck. I'll take these off. Oh my god. I just pushed that thing in there, it's almost falling inside the ship. Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can avert disaster here. Oh, so lucky. Just stuck.
What is the charge? Eating a meal?
Beams. Wow. That was lucky. Usually, when I'm recording these videos, I'm not that lucky. Okay, let's put it back on there. Actually, let's just keep it off for now while we fix this problem. I just dropped one of these little round pieces inside the ship. It's just literally, every time I do something with this ship, something falls off inside. It's just gotta happen. It's like some kind of new rule of nature that whenever I try to do something with this ship, a part will fall inside. I'm trying to make some space for the new lifeboats there. Moving these things so that the funnels have got somewhere to be tied to. I'm going to tie one there. On the ship's plans, you can see that's kind of where they are. And then this part will attach over here to somewhere on the midsection of the ship, and maybe somewhere over here. But it can't be on the bow section because of the free space we need here for the gantry davit. I'm a little bit unclear about the lifeboat layout here. It appears to me on the builder's model that we've got like one here like this, and then another there, and then I'll say there's another there. It's kind of not right because they should all be at the same level. I need some space in between or to raise those up a little bit. Maybe I can put a white piece on top of this just to set it up higher. Let's see if we set up the lifeboat a bit higher, see how that looks. That's more like what we see on the ship, on the pictures. But we gantry davit on, see. There's actually a motor launch here as well, which I'm going to do in a minute. Yeah, I'm happy with that, I think that's about right. And then we've got the normal lifeboat goes here. And then there's two normal davits there. Okay, I'm reworking this area a little bit because I just realised I need those davits in there. So we're going to put these in here like this. Some of the original decking pieces from Titanic, all on there, like that. And then we're going to put a 4x1 white piece here, just to raise that up a little bit. And then we're going to put this thing here, like this. That's from somewhere on the Titanic build that I've disassembled somewhere before. Two little, like that. And then the lifeboat's going to sit on there. And then we're going to put these, because it appears that that lifeboat is always swung out. I mean, maybe it was a wartime thing when you look at pictures of Britannic as a hospital ship, but on the builder's model, it's also swung out already. So this emergency cutter appears to always be swung out there on the davits. So I'm going to put that there, and yeah, I think we're done. We're going to put the motor launch in there. On the builder's model, the motor launch is kind of hanging from the davits, but I think it's just for demonstration purposes. Yeah, I just checked, and it appears that this lifeboat here is actually the motor launch. So let me show you what we're going to do for the motor launch. I'm going to get one of the other lifeboats that don't have a white top on, one of these, and I've got some brown pieces and these little windows. The motor launch has a window on it, so I'm going to put a window there. That one's quite loose. Top brown, because the motor launch seems to be uncovered. Put brown pieces on there like that. Yeah. Straighten that up a little bit so it looks nice. It looks really not good at the moment. I don't have many brown pieces, so we're dealing with what we've got here. And then I'll put a top on that. Yeah, I think that'll do. That looks like our motor launch. Oh man. There we go. I just realised why these lifeboats are not sitting correctly. It's because the motor room for the gantry davits, because these things are motorised, right? And the motor room for them is actually there. Yeah, we're going to make it that shape. It's going to be 2x3. Okay, that looks just about done. There we go. I think we're just about done with the bow section now. So emergency cutter, a davits, we've got our 3 lifeboats with the motor launch on there. We've got our wonderful bridge, and we've got our extended bridge wings, and we've got our, move this cable out of the way for you. Yeah, we've got all that stuff done there as well. Looks good.